So, hi there folks, once more. You can see the fucking cat's head popping up in the far, from your point of view, right corner. Not that I live in this fucking screen. If I did though, it would be from my left point of view. You may ask, what the fuck am I doing right now? I ask myself that every fucking day, numerous times. So, I started training again. Like last year I was training Muay Thai in this fucking city and where I live, surprise surprise. And then I stopped because of the motherfucking COVID, right? Because I was a coward first, before, like when it was still legal, when you got like still could go. But the COVID was in the air and I was like, oh boy, I want to knock people out. Or get knocked by other people and not by fucking virus. So I stopped. And all of my form and all that I fucking learned went to shit, surprise surprise. And now I'm back to that. And I fucked up my toe. I don't know, fuck, I have very dirty legs, I'm sorry about that. I don't know if it's like visible. Fucking snap that, put it on the fucking feet. Sorry cat. On the fucking feet. Porn hub or whatever. Can I say porn in the video? I can't. Fuck too late. I doubt that this will get sponsored anyway. Like, just look, okay, I fucked up my toe yesterday. That's the first thing I fucked up because we were doing murders. Is it called murders? I think it's called murders. Something like that. Like from the fucking film with Samuel L. Jackson, where he decided to be a coach or whatever. Sorry. And yeah, so we were doing that. And it's kind of strange, but like the more I did it and like the more rows I did, the more repetitions I did, like running back and forward, doing different shit in between, like you run from one place, from one station, let's say station A to station B, there you do like 10 push-ups, and then you run back to station A, and over again, then you do like front, then you do like back and shit, like strikes or whatever. And like in the half, I was fucking dead, man, because I was dancing like a little pansy doing the sparring, and I was fucked, okay? I was moving too much before, I didn't save any stamina, I was kind of showing off, even though there's not much to show, and yeah, and I was done, okay? So that was like in the middle, and then the fucking coach was like, bitches, you are only, and I was fucking, okay dude, like I was dead, and he was like, bitches, you are only in the middle. And it was just like a fucking switch, like it discouraged me, then it made me angry, and then like a switch flipped, whatever, and I started running even faster, and like all of the feeling of tiredness and all of that shit went away. I guess that's what Goggins talks about with stealing souls and shit. Like I was trying to steal coach's soul. That being said, I'm back, baby, and I'm training to beat motherfucking Hemingway in hell. Because I guess, as you're all aware of, Papa Hemingway was a very big boxing enthusiast, even though he kind of hated on it in the Fiesta. What is it called? There are like 3 fucking names for that book. The book that made him famous, basically. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not, and if it's not like that, I said it like, you know. Anyway, I said it correctly, sorry guys. So yeah, anyone know, he kind of hated on it, right? Like in the Sun Also Rises, he mentioned this fucking guy who went to like Princeton or whatever, or Oxford, and he was like a little Wimsel, fucking Cinderella. I can't even fucking, dude, I can't even, what the fuck, man? I don't even know my fucking princesses. I cannot say Cinderella, I say Cinderella. It's like with an accent, I'm saying it with Spanish accent. A Cinderella. That's my Spanish accent. I know none of the fucking Spanish words. But when I was coaching, what the fuck? Why am I using the word coaching? When I was like with exchange students, all right, last year, again before the COVID hit and fucked everything good about my life, I was planning on fucking returning to the dance floor literally, and started to learn dances, like dancing, like classical dances, because I sucked ass in high school. Not literally, surprise, surprise, darling. I did not suck ass in high school, but I sucked ass in high school. And because of that, and I was like unfocused, and I was smoking weed back then. And me and my girl of that time, my first girlfriend, and to be honest, probably my last one. If we are being honest, and if we are calling things the true names, yeah. After that, why am I being so personal? You don't fucking care. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck? So I wanted to start dancing again. I wanted to start doing yoga. Basically, I was like Howard Stern, like when he stopped being Howard Stern and he turned into Howard fucking Guru Stern, Howard fucking Lil Stern, Howard fucking not so Stern. I was thinking about Howard Stern. I was imagining what I would behave like if I was on Howard Stern. Yeah, I do that sometimes. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I wouldn't kiss his ass. Like, okay. This is where I basically got stuck, as if I was saying it on here, and basically it turned into nightmare when I was saying it on here, like in here, on this channel, in this fucking podcast. And now I'm doing it in real life. But like, I wouldn't behave, not that it was negative. Okay, this is exactly what I was afraid of. I was going to be afraid of saying a thing. I will fucking apologize. I will fucking try to wiggle my way around the topic. Fuck it. You know, when fucking Jonah Hill was on Howard Stern, he said something so fucking weird. That's what I was thinking about. And I was like, what the fuck, how will I say it? How will I say it without fucking offending anyone, let's say, especially Jonah Hill. I love fucking Jonah Hill. Not that he watches this fucking shit. Not that anyone watches this fucking shit. Question. Why the fuck do you do this, Gerald? I don't know. Man needs to do stuff. That's what the life is about, right? You pick a thing, you do it. Forever. Again, disclaimer, there is no nicotine in this vape. It's pure essence. It's the spirit essence of David Bowie. David Bowie smoked cigarettes and died of cancer. Fuck. It's pure essence of... Who the fuck didn't smoke cigarettes? All of them smoked cigarettes back then. I wanted to say fucking Leonard Cohen. What the fuck? Fuck you. And love that guy. Also another thing, and I will probably mention quite a lot because it's real and it's fucking true. Every time I had like a period when every time I fell in love with someone's music and their style and shit, they died of cancer. Okay? And that's why I stopped liking shit. Okay? I liked fucking David Bowie. He died of cancer like a year after I fell in love with his shit. Not that I didn't know his shit before, but I kind of didn't know his shit before. You know the songs, but you don't know from whom those songs are and shit. Yeah. And then he died of cancer, and I was heartbroken, man. I composed like a story based on that I will yet to write. It's weird, but it was like inspired by Black Star, the music video. Great fucking music video. Fuck, man, that hit me so hard. And I was like forcing other people of my age to listen to his music, and they were like, what the fuck is this? Like every time, like like we would be smoking weed, and they would be like listening to rap songs and shit, and I would be like, hey man, should you check out Lil Bobby? And I would be like, who the fuck is Lil Bobby? And I would blast like Space Oddity or whatever. Couldn't think of more generic David Bowie song. Yes, darling, I couldn't. I loved fucking, what the fuck is it called? Golden Years. That became like a theme for that time of my life. And also when I was 17, I was constantly listening to Dancing Queen. And one time I got drunk and I mistook my gender and I started twerking on stage in a club. What the fuck? And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Should I chop off my dick? I didn't, but I thought about it. When you start twerking in a club, you should ask yourself, like, honestly, look at yourself in the mirror. You have to have that talk with you, with yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and you are like, fuck, man, do I secretly want to chop off my dick? Nothing wrong with chopping your dick off. Neither with, like, okay, okay, depends on the occasion. If you chop your dick off because you were born in the wrong body and you, I don't want to say identify because it's not like a choice for such people, right? It's quite a well described phenomena, a condition, you know, like what the fuck. So it's not like an identity, it's not their identity, it's not, they don't choose their identity. They are born with a certain identity, and the society is like, fuck man, you have a dick. What the fuck are you talking about? You have a dick. And they're like, yeah, I know, but, you know, it's not a choice, what the fuck. But, okay, this is like the circumstance when it's alright. When it's great, all the power to them. Fucking tough as shit, by the way. I've read this fucking book last year for the course in sociology of religion. And one of the stories, it was like a collection of stories. One of the stories was about a girl who was born into like a, basically mine strictly, I come from a Christian household. And at the beginning, it's like, I was telling this to my mother the other day, like their way of raising us was the same as the fucking testaments, man. Like when we were little, I was born the last, obviously, look how the fuck I turned out. But why am I dressed like fucking 90s comedy? What the I'm either dressed like a fucking 90s comedian, or I'm dressed like a, I don't know, like it's not even 2000s, what the fuck is this? Either like a son of Leatherman, not a Leatherface, but Leatherman from it's not YMCA, Gerald, what the fuck? From Village People? Or like every 90s till early 2000s gangster. Like I'm not saying those people weren't gangsters, I'm saying they were like mainly rappers, they were doing fucking gangster rap, okay? It's not the same thing. I could say gangster, I mean like a fucking Italian mobster, that's not the same thing, hoi polloi, okay? Jesus. Dude, fucking 20 people watched the last fucking video and I'm behaving as if I'm talking, I don't know, like I'm giving a TED talk and I'm afraid that someone will take a snippet and post it on fucking BuzzFeed and I will be deplatformed. Dude, I have no fucking platform to be deplatformed, okay? For like 5 years, I'm basically immune. I'm invincible. I'm like invincible if he wasn't invincible. Invincible. Okay, like all the powers of invincible without being the invincible, like known. I didn't see the show. I saw the memes though. Like when something is too like memed, I cannot see the original shit, you know? You have to be there. You have to be there from the start and you can flex, right? Like with Tiger King. It's oh dude. We are talking about Rona quite a lot. If anyone cares, this shit will get flagged. But we are so deep. We are basically, okay, there's the internet, right? Like there are things that people watch. There are things that people stumble upon. There are things that exist. And then there is this fucking podcast. We don't exist. We are like, fuck it, we are not even Snowden. Snowden was famous, man. What the fuck are we? I don't know. We are like the fucking mole people. I look like a mole person. You might look like a mole person. I don't fucking know. Okay. So yeah, training MMA to beat up Hemingway in hell. I will probably use that as the title of this video. I love it. You know what? I would fucking like that. Like I read this fucking post the other day. Like if you could choose two people from the past, anyone fucking who you would choose and have a hour conversation with them. Every fucking retard chose like their dead grandmother or dead grandfather. Presumably they assumed that they would be alive again and they could talk to them. So let's imagine it's that. Let's imagine it's not like you like grab a corpse and talk to it for an hour. You can do that anytime. You can fucking dig up your parents, grandparents, what the fuck, and talk to them. See, so you can do that. Why would you bother? You can do that. Their bodies still didn't probably like decompose that much, right? Like my grandfather from father's side, he died after I was born, like I was 1 year old. And he saw my face and he was like, okay, I'm fucking gone, man. Fuck this shit. If this thing is gonna be in there, I won't, and he died. I kind of fucking, it sucks that I never fucking like, you know, don't know him, didn't met him or whatever. Yeah, it's shit. But okay, he's like the exception. It's a lot of years ago. He probably would decompose by now. But like, if your grandfather died like 2 years ago, he's still there. You can dig him up and talk to him, right? So fuck that. I chose 2 names. I chose, of course, Hunter S. Thompson, because who the fuck else would I choose? What the fuck? In high school, we are talking a lot about high school these days. In high school, I had a whole fucking thing when I was when I was claiming to people that this is my grandfather, and they were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have basically 3 grandfathers and shit." And then like one time I got, I'm not doing anything now. I'm doing only coffee, and this fucking asshole's fume from his piss. That's all the drugs I do these days. But back then, high school, you have to try stuff. You have to try to kill yourself. Basically, in high school, everyone tries to kill themselves. In many ways, either you cut yourself, or you fucking, I don't know, date, or you fucking whatever, study. We were drinking heavily, and we were doing lots of drugs. We were doing anything, like except of the hard shit. We had a rule to never do fucking heroin. We had a rule to never do fucking, what is it called? Like, I can't. Methamphetamines, thank you, like Heisenberg shit. And basically it was and crocodile, and that was it. Other than that, we did everything and all of it. And one time we did Ritalin, and I got drunk at this party, and one girl was like pushing me like, "Jerry, what the fuck are you talking about? You can't have 3 grandfathers." And I was like, "Yeah, he's not my grandfather." There's a shit story. So I admitted to that, and I cried, and we all sat in a circle, and I made people hold hands, and I was like a fucking, I transcended. You know, like I felt like from the fucking film Limitless or whatever. That's how I felt the first time I did Molly too, because we did 3 tabs of Molly, like 3 pills of Molly. And it was so, dude, I was like, all of my stats ranked up. Like, there was this bar we were trying to get to, because I obviously needed cigarettes. And there was this fucking bouncer, right? Like fucking, like 7-8 feet or whatever. Like his arm was as white as my ass. Like he could just brush his arm around my ass, and it was split in half. Ass is already split in half, but it was split in half more. And yeah, and I was like, "Hey man," I was smiling. I was like, I felt I was limitless. I was basically Bradley Cooper back then. Okay, I turned into Bradley Cooper. Like my face morphed, and my dick got bigger, and I walked to him, and I was like, "Hey man," I can do Bradley Cooper impression. Imagine me doing one. I was like, "Hey man, can we get inside? I need to." Like I didn't know. I probably didn't even say it with the cigarettes, because I was like so fucking high up that I conjured up some fucking great lie. Like my fucking, I don't know, my grandfather who died 1 year after I was born didn't die, but he's at this club hiding from me. All these fucking, I was 17 back then, so all these fucking 16 years he's been in that club. I know it, man. Let me in. Let me fucking in. That morphed. And I was like, I don't know, I spoke to his soul, like, this is fucking weird. It's like in Dishonored, when you had the fucking heart and you can listen to people's thoughts. I had that in my fucking, basically on my tongue and in my fucking stomach for fucking buzzing around. Also, I was Bradley Cooper. Also, I was like the fucking Sherlock in the fucking series Sherlock, so I saw everything. I saw his fucking, like, he has a little bit of shit in here, and that means that he's a construction worker, and he has like a mustache that he fucking, the wax is from Mexico. I wanted to say Tihu, that's why I didn't say it. Tihu, I can't say it. I'm retarded. Every time I speak English, I become retarded, okay? I don't know if it's the fault of your language or if it's the fault of me speaking that language. I'm not that retarded when I'm speaking Czech. Believe me. I will not try to prove it, but believe me. Tijuana. Nailed it. Fuck you. Eat a dick. So I got in, I bought the cigarettes and shit, and that's how I was, okay. How did we get here? Why am I talking about this story? Why am I... I have no fucking idea. Not nicotine. Only cat piss. Not fumes from the cat piss. I don't drink cat piss, thank you. There are people who do that. Have you seen that fucking, that's like, oh that shit man, what the fuck. That fucking video of the girl, like her dog pisses into the fucking shit and she drinks it. It's disgusting, but you have to admit there's something. I'm not into pissing, okay? Let's just start with that. That's a bad way to start. Anything I say after that will be sus. But there's some, like that fucking video of a girl like in a toilet seat, there's something arousing about disgusting things. Because after all, what the fuck is sex than breaking taboos, right? Like, because of the fucking retards of past, there is like, it's not retarded. It was kind of needed, otherwise we would fuck ourselves to death in the Middle Ages. Not like the fucking Russian sect or whatever Rasputin was from. How do you have this all fucking like construct about not doing fuckity fuck unless you marriage? Unless you marriage? Yes, unless you marriage. Yeah, unless you marry someone. And that kind of held society together, I understand, but what the fuck, man? Like, because of that we are basically all traumatized, and the sex, like, is always forbidden. Because who the fuck waits until marriage these days? People who actually wait into marriage are the real freaks, you know? Like, it's sus as fuck. I don't like that. It's like, the fucking weirdest fucking way of virtue signaling is like the fucking incels who, or like the people who do nofap and like the fat, like what the fuck is it called? Like the highest level of nofap when you don't even. I keep getting like the acronym JOY popping in my head, and no, Jerry, that's something completely different. It's like the exact opposite. But yeah, what the fuck was it called? I don't know. Like the tier 5, like monk tier or whatever, and you don't even have sex, and you don't, I don't know, you drink water, and I don't know. You don't use fucking, you are basically Amish at that point, right? I could be Amish, look at me. Yeah. And what the fuck? Yeah, and those people, like, the fapping was the only fucking thing, joyful thing they had in their life, and like they didn't even fuck before then, and then they are like, I don't fuck, like, what the fuck? Beautiful sentence. It's stupid, man, like, and the same goes for the people, like, a person that is very close to me, even though I haven't seen her in quite a while, because I'm a fucking, what's the word? You know it. I shouldn't use the word. But again, layers, we are below things that exist, which are below things that people don't watch, so no one will fucking see that, no one will fucking care, right? Also, I would just like to say that the word retard doesn't refer, I'm not using it to refer to, I'm not using it as a pejorative, or whatever how it's pronounced, term for the, which was used in the past for mentally challenged people. Another thing I was thinking about yesterday when I couldn't sleep. I was preparing this speech. But why the fuck am I snitching on myself? But there is the second fucking way, explanation of this word, and the second meaning is like the fucking shit in the road which slows things down. And the reason why I'm using that, and the way in which I'm using that, is this definition. It's like the last fucking, it's the same week, what the fuck, the last episode when we talked about crackers. Not only being a pejorative term for white people, but white people. This is lovely, man. I should say white people more often. I don't think I ever said that out loud. It's not like you meet other white person and you go white people. What the fuck? Like, there are people who actually do that, but we disallow of them. So they have to wear like masks and shit, you know. Quite zealous Christians, though. Their crosses burn bright. That was cheap, I admit. What the fuck? I was heading somewhere with all of this shit. Yeah, the fucking retard. So the thing that slows things down in the road, and I'm basically dead for human race. Now the fucking joke is dead. Thank you. So, it was like a fucking, I basically vomited with my Mouth. Oh Jesus. Do I look like a mole? I do. I need to see though. Not me or you. I can't see you anyway. Oh fuck, that's weird. I cannot do it now. I can't do it now. What the fuck? I'm used to this. During the trainings, I cannot wear glasses. So I'm basically fighting like Michael Bisping after he lost eye. Yeah, sure, Jerry. You are fighting like Michael Bisping. No, I didn't mean it like that. You know what I meant. I could wear contact lenses, but I never, like even when I was training last year, I didn't do that because then like what the fuck. You know, you will get hit. You can't wear them in matches. And one thing, and mainly you get hit and you lose the contact lens, and then you are fucked. So it's better to train without them, so you can just take off your glasses if necessary and send people to infirmary, or fuck up your toe and send there yourself. Another thing I fucked up, my shoulder. Like it hurts so fucking bad. You may ask, you may ask, Jerry, how the fuck did you fuck up your shoulder during, there was a little accent there, during fucking MMA training? You would assume that I was like putting fuckers in submissions and shit. No man, I was rolling on the ground. I was supposed to, I hope it's called like roll, whatever. It's called roll, what the fuck? And we were doing like side rolls, like when you position like your arm sort of like that. It fucking hurts. Why am I using the injured arm? And you roll on that fucking arm and you somehow use it to fucking travel on the ground or whatever. And I was like doing it badly. Also, I have scoliosis, as you might notice. And because of that, anytime I do a roll, I turn like left, like immediately, like I go straight and then left. Like my back is too fucked. So this fucking capoeira chick comes to me and she's like, hey man, you are doing it wrong. If you do it like that, you might dislocate your shoulder. And she vividly described what I'm doing wrong, right? Nothing hurt back then, only I was fucking rolling around like I wasn't. You are supposed to again get from point A to point B. Why am I using the screen to navigate my hands? Why am I so fucking stupid? Okay. And and I was basically going like this. So eventually I would be stuck in a loop. And she went up to me and she's like, hey man, you are doing it wrong. If you do it this way, you will dislocate your shoulder. And I was like, bitch, fucking tell me how am I supposed to do it right, not how to do it wrong, right? Of course, surprise, surprise, I did another roll and I fucked up my shoulder. I did it exactly the way she described. You are not supposed to do it. It's kind of a compliment towards me because it means I take instructions well. This is a milk bottle. It kind of tastes. It has an aftertaste of milk, man. What the fuck? I have like a normal bottle in the fridge that I'm saving up after this shit. I will train. So, kids of all ages, I bought new fucking books, man. The first book I bought is, will it work? Can it fucking actually, like, can you fucking, The Ways of Seeing, whatever, by Berger. I can't wait to read this actually, it's fucking short as fuck, and there are pictures. It's, to my knowledge, it's the first book in which the man gaze and femme gaze is described. I believe it's quite important for any content creator. Not like this content, this is a shit content. Again, remember the layers, kids. We are here. We don't have to do any, we don't have to censor this, we don't have to try, even though I kind of fucking try. I prepared books, there are books on the table you can see. And I waited for the cat to fall asleep. He's Chinese now. Yeah, and I wanted to read about that, about like femme gaze and male gaze and shit. Because there is like this interesting statistic, like, I don't know if it's true, like, as someone who studied sociology and psychology and fucking psychometry and all of this shit knows, the study doesn't mean anything, right? Give me 10,000 studies, 50 years, and we'll see. Yeah, but this one study, I have no idea where they fucking pulled that data from, but I like it. I like it So, and I think to some extent it has to be true, right? Like logically, it has to be true. And like in my day-to-day experience, I found this to be true. True. Fuck. And that is this. I'm trying to not say the thing is that, and it's quite hard. Don't watch podcasts from which you catch like meaningless connections, words, whatever. Okay, so the statistic, Jared, focus yourself, Jared. Yes, I'm focused, Jared, thank you. Is that 70% of non-fiction writers are male. 70% of readers of non-fiction literature are female. So you have mostly men writing for mostly women. And it's fucking, there is no way, it has to have some sort of impact. We can talk about if it shapes their own perception of femininity, or if it shapes if it's like around. This would be interesting to study. If proven fact, I would like to study this. And that's how it affects them, and if it affects them. If it affects how they view themselves, the females, or if like it becomes, which I think it to be true, like criteria to rate books. Like that's the thing they always asked R. Martin, right? I look like a Jewish 90s renegade bartender George R. Martin. And I am. Surprise. I'm also from Tauret, if you didn't know. I'm not from here, fuckers, what the fuck are you talking about? I was found in caves, man. Like in prehistory, they found, like, just fucking buy the fucking zombie fest. I go in a detail, you you are supposed to write the writer's bio. And fuck that, like, I can't, like, even, I could write about the things I wrote, like the vampire we talked about the last. Dude. This is taking a lot of time. This will be a bit longer. I'm sorry, darling. But I'm also not sorry. I love talking to myself. Yeah. That's why I write. That's all you do. You talk to yourself. You talk to yourself and then you read it and it's weird. Weird fucking endeavor. Weird path to choose, Gerald. Buy the fucking zombie fest. Not because I will have no money from that, I don't give a fuck, but because I'm stupid and I can't afford to, like, I don't want to, and I can't afford to. It's also weird, like last time I said, like, are you in it for the money or to share the story, and to go too high with the price would discourage readers. Then again, I have to set the price in a way that covers like the expenses for printing and Amazon's cut. So I think it was like I have what, like 50 cents for every book or whatever. I would need to sell like 1,000 of copies to get back my investment. I'm not talking even about time, like on the shit I bought and shit, whatever. So because of that, I bought Berger and his ways of seeing. I saw some interesting video essays about like different films. I saw a great analysis of Birds of Prey, how it redefined the usual cliches. I'm saying it wrong, right? Cliché. What the fuck? You know what I'm trying to say? Cliché. It's a singular, but how is it in plural form? What the fuck? Hey, I could write it. I don't have to know how to pronounce it. Shut the fuck up. Second book I bought. Which kind of... Can you fucking bitch? Yeah, it's the major works from Lord Baron Byron. I adore Byron. I haven't actually read anything, or haven't actually read anything from Byron, but I love him. Man, he's like a first literature, like first writer, rock star, or whatever. And I was obsessed with him for some time. I love it. Like he was fucking this fucking rich, like, I don't know, ataman or whatever, like a fucking king of some fucking Arab country or whatever. I have no idea what it's called. Layers. I don't have to yet. And yeah, and he was fucking him for money. Great guy, and I think he will be. Also, read the fucking memoirs of Giacomo Casanova, man. Read them. It's so fucking good. Like, don't read them and expect like a romantic shit or like, I don't know, a fucking Wolf of Venice. That was a good one. Or whatever. But it's such a intriguing and interesting era. And a pair of eyes to view this age in. And he's such a lovable mischief. Love him. He's a fucking weasel, you know. Like, okay, this is one of the things I will talk about in the future, in not on the podcast, but in like a shorter video form, like in a video essay, similar to the Loki one I did, but like less. My brother told me I sound like a fucking pedophile on that. I saw a pedophile today, by the way. He was hiding in the bushes. I'm not fucking kidding. It was weird as fuck. The guy stood in the bushes, like when I was getting the books, I was returning, and the fucking guy was standing in the bushes, like hidden. Like you could only see him from. I thought he was pissing, but he was just standing there and watching people. Either that, or I was an extra on Falling Down, like in real life. And after I left, he started shooting people and blasting or whatever. I'm trying to utilize the layers. We will talk about anything until we can't. Yeah, and Byron. I think he's one of the most, to my knowledge, he's one of the most important writers from the, no shit. It even says it here. Byron is regarded today as the ultimate romantic. And I'm working on a project for which I need to study romanticism. And I wanted, like as a writer, not only study romanticism, but you have to read the classics, man. Like, okay, currently I'm reading a lot of books today. I'm fucking reading the fucking Poppy War, which, by the way, ever since Aragon, is the first real fantasy that I'm reading. I didn't even read fantasy, man. Like, it's so fucking weird. Like, last year I wrote like the most urban fantasy book ever. Hopefully I will get to share it with you guys. It's still in Czech. I have to edit it in Czech, and I will try to publish it locally, which is something I have to do more. And if it makes enough money, I will then use the money to translate it and shit, and have it like edited. It's long as shit, but it's like my Game of Thrones, like my Song of Ice and Fire episode 1, but it's urban fantasy, and it's the most urban fantasy there is. Like, the main characters were like hobos and shit, and pimps. Great book. This is better, in a way. It's different, I cannot compare. I use much more dialogue. However, this, like, Guan wrote it, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but the book is written in such a great way, man. The pacing is my favorite shit. Like, you sit down to it for like an hour, and every time I finish one chapter, it's so well edited and so well paced. I didn't even ever think about this. Like, you think about transitions in between chapters and cliffhangers and such, but I never thought about like symmetrical composition, like composing chapters symmetrically in a way that each chapter has more or less the same length. Amazing stuff, amazing. The book is accessible, it's funny quite a lot, like more and more. The humor isn't used too much. It's not a like a comedy or whatever. Definitely not a comedy. It's amazing. And like, you have this. I was always afraid, right? Like, you have the Harry Potter, and it basically made all of these wannabes of Harry Potter. Yeah, this is how I look, bitch. What will you do about it? I will wear it like that from now on. Yeah. And this book, even though there is like this, of course, it's a fantasy, and they study in a school, right? Like the first thing you think of is, fuck, is this Harry Potter knockoff? It's not, and it works around the. Of course, it's not. Like you could read the fucking description and know it's not, but still, it doesn't fall into any stereotypes of the fantasy genre, so to say. And even the stereotypes it has, like, it's obviously hero's journey. Like, so far, what I've read, all developed the way you would expect it to develop, right? But it's good. You don't need to always go against the current. We don't need, like, the whole fucking fantasy genre. Okay, the reason why I stopped reading that shit is because every fucking fantasy author these days is trying not to be a fantasy author. They lack the confidence to write something that isn't fantasy, and they detest fantasy at this point so much that they like try to push against the stereotypes, like turn it upside down, like anti-heroes and fucking evil wins and everyone rapes everyone and fuck it, my mother died because my father was fucking me and I couldn't help her and what the. That's the fantasy these days, okay? And it sucks ass, man. Like, literally. It sucks ass of talking, and it's so fucking stupid, man. Like, they are basically pushing as far from the fantasy as possible. I kind of did that myself with the JD, with the urban fantasy project, but then I think I'm talking about high fantasy, okay? I think that with urban fantasy, because it's more, I think urban fantasy was like this always, okay? I don't consider Harry Potter, by the way, anything from these things. If anything, it's closest to urban fantasy, obviously, with the tropes. But, like, it gets to a point when a book of this height, you can't categorize it. It's weird to categorize it. And I think even Hemingway, Rowling, yeah, Hemingway, sure. Hemingway would fuck us all up, man. Hemingway, if he came to this scene, he would write a book, and then he would fucking tape it to his gloves, and he would use it to beat motherfuckers to death with it. First to go would be me, second would be J.K. Rowling. Like, he would burst into her mansion and, dude, talk about Sean Connery slapping bitches. Love Sean Connery, by the way. Another thing I'm reading from the classics is beautiful collection of Shakespeare's work I got from my parents for Christmas. And as I said, I'm trying to read up on the classics, develop my language skills, develop my vocabulary, develop everything basically. And if you study how the form itself developed, it will help you. You will not be writing in a vocabulary, or you might still, whatever, it doesn't mean. You can, like, as an analogy, I will fucking use rap. Like, it's like studying, like, listen to the classic albums, right? Like, you would listen to, like, what is considered classic and popular at the same time, and I don't fucking know, you would listen to Biggie Smalls. I also my outfit kind of looks like his. You would study NWA, you would study Snoop Dogg's early work, you would study Wu-Tang Clan and shit like that. You would study everything. You would study fucking. My fucking shit scratches so much. I mean, I'm scratching so much. I must look like a fucking junkie, like a heroin junkie. I look too sophisticated for heroin junkie, darling. Thank you. But basically, you study the classics, you listen to their flow, and it helps you develop your own, right? But if I only listen to mumble rappers, I would be only mumbling. But then if you understand how it became the thing that it's today, it can help you use that knowledge to develop something of your own. A great tip, I will probably elaborate on this again in something else than the podcast, but Hunter S. Thompson had this exercise he used to do. I adapted it in high school. Yeah. Put those things together, you can kind of see why I was the way I was in high school. The exercise being, take a classic book, a writer you are interested in. I intend to do this with all of these, and write word for word entire books, chapters, pages, columns, everything. Write it down to understand the rhythm, right? The rhythm is something that later I found out both Thompson and Bukowski talked about. Books need to have rhythm, and it's awesome that the Poppy War has a rhythm not only inside the text itself but also in the chapters. And that's, I guess, my tip to you, something I learned this week and something I now bestow upon you, the people. Have a good one and fuck off.